Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and I thought in celebration of that, and since I'm kind of a pervert, we're gonna talk about some of the best movie sex scenes ever. The 1980s classic Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Now here you have the daydream scene where Brad's fantasizing about his sister's hot best friend getting out of the pool, and he's wearing like a tuxedo for some odd reason. Now I'm not gonna lie, we've all been there, you know, alone, cold.
Hi, Brad. You know how cute I always thought you were.
Well, maybe just me. I mean, look at Phoebe Cates right here, the definition of 1980s perfection. And then she went on to do Drop Dead Fred. Okay, this is where it kind of gets a little bit weird. We're going to talk about lovemaking with puppets. I don't need one heartbeat. So Team America, you know, you have all these puppets slash marionettes twisting around, their wires are getting tangled. Actually, from a technical standpoint, they pulled off the scene very well. Those puppet masters are crafty bastards, I tell you. And you know what? You have to respect the scene for no other... Did I just really say you have to respect this scene? And you know what? It was funny, it was entertaining, and that's why it was burned into my memory ever since I seen it.
I can't help it. This just feels so right, and I don't want anything to mess it up.
And as my Uncle Gary would say, puppets are people too. That's why he's in an insane asylum in Maine right now. I'm sorry guys, this is why I took a week off from making videos. You know, I was just in a very weird place this last week, so let's just keep going. Okay, next up it's Monsters Ball. And you guys all know the scene I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. It's Halle Berry and Billy Bob Thornton. Ugh. That's something that you can't think about when you're eating, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's one really intense, kind of almost scary scene when you really break it down. But anyway, the intensity levels are at an all-time high, and let's just move on. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Well, Jack, I've been thinking a lot about my name, and it's, when I close my eyes, I can see these bright, shiny letters, and they say, Dirk Diggler. That's my Mark Wahlberg impression. Next up, it's the scene in Boogie Nights with Julianne Moore and Mark Wahlberg, where he basically is getting introduced into the porn industry, and he's a newcomer. Jesus, that, ugh. Anyway, Mark Wahlberg and Julianne Moore are doing their first scene together, and he basically, they didn't get the shot that they needed, and so they have to redo it, and he's like, I can do it again, Jack. I can do it again. I'm king of the world, except I'm gonna die tomorrow night after I make love to this really hot chick, but she's not gonna allow me on that piece of wood because we could both technically float on it. Or hell, I could just go get another piece of wood because there's a lot of doors on this ship. We could both just float together, side by side. Nah, let's just run around until the very last second, get on the bow of the ship, and then go down. Not a very good plan. Anyway, it's a love scene in Titanic between Rose and Jack. And there's just something really romantic about making love in an old-timey car, you know, with a little bit of fog in there. You know, I'm 25, and I remember seeing that movie as a kid, and I was like, that was pretty cool. You know, I got to see, you know, Rose in all of her glory, and when that hand slapped against the window and went, like, it was kind of funny, but at the same time, you were just like, am I supposed to laugh at this, or am I don't know, my mom's sitting right there, so I don't know what to do. Next up, Risky Business, starring Tom Cruise, where his parents go out of town, and he basically turns his house into a whorehouse, and he becomes technically a pimp. Oh yeah, and he also destroyed his dad's Porsche, and this was his best friend. That guy right there, look at him. Anyway, the scene I'm talking about is the scene between Joel and that really hot call girl. Just something about that chick, you know, she was really big in the 80s and early 90s, and she kind of just faded away, but I always was a huge fan of her, and I was like, that was intense. I was like, I wish my parents would go out of town, I can crash my dad's Porsche. By Porsche I mean his Ford F-150, and then all these hot call girls start coming over to my house. But in reality, I just had all my friends come over and we sat there with a bag of Cheetos playing Xbox. Okay, next up, my personal favorite sex scene in any movie, the scene that just blew me away and made me laugh my ass off. And basically, I based my life off of this one scene. That's right, it's American Psycho, starring Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman, the sick, sadistic, bipolar, closeted axe murderer. I don't know, I just always found a lot of common ground with this guy. Anyway, let me set up the scene for you. Basically, he calls a upper class call girl, blonde, not strawberry blonde, but blonde. And then he kind of gets a bottom of the barrel one, but he picks her up in a limousine. It won't be like last time, I promise. Get in. Anyway, in the scene you have this classic 1980s song blaring in the background as he sets up his VHS camcorder, and then he just kind of, you know, proceeds to have a good time.
This is the studio. A great song. Personal favorite.
So anyway, guys, down below, let me know what your favorite all-time movie love-making scene is. And don't say Avatar, okay? Wrapping ponytails around in circles doesn't count. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't already, there's a link down below. Go to my Facebook page, like that. That's where I update, you know, random posts, ask questions, and kind of just, I don't know, that's where I reach out to you. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a few more days with my Die Hard 5 review.